I'm Dr. Branwen Hide. I'm one of the two UK MSCA NCPs, and I'm also a Senior European Advisor for the UK Research Office based in Brussels. And together with Innovate, we actually provide the Brussels presence for the UK Research and Innovation Funding Council. And today I'm going to be giving you a little overview about the UK as a destination. And before I kind of go through why you might want to do your fellowship in the UK, how to identify a host organization and the types of support available, I will just touch upon the UK's participation in Horizon Europe. As I'm sure you are all very well aware, the UK left the European Union, but we will be associating to Horizon Europe. So on the 24th of December, the UK government announced the conclusions of the negotiation with the European Commission. And this included the confirmation that the UK will fully associate to Horizon Europe as well as Euratom. And this ensures that the UK will be able to fully participate in the MSCA program. As outlined in the dedicated Q&A from the Commission, which we have the link here, all UK entities will have full rights to participate in the very first set of calls of proposals of Horizon 2020. Now, in some very exceptional cases, primarily in the collaborative projects under what is known as the Pillar 2, there may be some justified exceptions where we would have some restrictions to participation, but we will be able to fully participate in the MSCA actions. So what does this actually mean? It means that UK institutions will be eligible to act as a host for all European fellows and fellowships. We will be able to act as a host for the incoming phase of a global fellowship. And we are not eligible to act as an outgoing host for the global fellowships. As an associated country, we effectively have all the same rights and obligations as a member state. And in a quick and easy way, it's just to think of us as a member state, and that it is business as usual for those who would like to come and work in the UK with regards to European funding, and for the organizations in the UK as well. So hopefully you are a bit more rest assured that the UK can fully participate in this scheme. And so what does the UK have to offer? Why would you actually want to come to the UK? And I'll talk a bit about the opportunities in a second, but what I wanted to talk about here is really about the UK as a whole. The UK as a whole and the environment to which you would be working if you would chose to come and do your fellowship in the UK. The UK has a really long-standing history of successful participation across all of the MSCA actions. Looking specifically at the individual fellowships under Horizon 2020, so the previous framework program, in the 2020 call, so the last call that we just had, we were awarded 311 individual fellowships to UK host organizations, and we were the most popular host country. And this is just a continuation of what we've seen in previous years. And for example, in 2019, where we were successfully awarded 287 fellowships to UK-based organizations. It's really important, we do talk a lot about support, to understand that most institutions, so most research organizations in the UK actually have dedicated support for European research and innovation funding. This is what we call, can be in the form of pre-award, so really at that application stage to help you understand the kind of ins and outs of the funding, help you develop your proposal, navigate the templates, and also will often have access to provide you with copies of successful proposals. They will read them, they will edit them, and they will really work with you to fully develop your proposal. They can also help you with some of the nitty-gritty of the support submissions, but actually how the whole portal that you have to use for the submission process actually works. They'll be able to review your CV and help to navigate any internal policies and procedures that you would need to be aware of as an applicant. And also they'll be able to help you understand internal structures and opportunities. For example, many research organizations in the UK have designated teams with regards to training, public engagement, communication, and innovation, and they can help put you in contact with those teams so that you can help better develop your project and your proposal. In terms of post-award support, so after you've been successfully awarded your support, again, most of the institutions have dedicated teams to help you make the most of your fellowship. They really do understand all the funding rules and regulations, what you can and cannot do, so that you don't really need to worry about that so much and really can just focus on doing what you want to do, which is your research and your training as part of your fellowship. As I've said, the UK is a very popular destination, not only for individual fellowships, but we also see a large involvement in all the other Marie Curie schemes, so the doctoral training, co-fund, the research staff exchanges. And so most institutions do have dedicated communities of Marie Curie researchers to which you would be able to join and be a part of, as well as things like the Marie Curie Alumni Association, which has a dedicated UK chapter. And then the whole environment of research and innovation in the UK is incredibly multicultural and international. So again, you have a very rich environment to which you would be coming to work. Most of the UK institutions also have a very long-standing commitment to ensuring good working conditions and supporting the professional development of researchers, which are two fundamental elements of Marie Curie. This is through things such as the Concordat to support the career development of researchers, which has been around since approximately 2008, to which most UK universities and other organizations have signed up to really demonstrate that they support and encourage good working environments in the career development of researchers, which means they do actively monitor and make sure that all of their staff have access to this. They are also, as a result of signing up the Concordat, means that they are almost all have signed up to the HR Excellence in Research and have that designation. And most of the institutions, or at least departments with most of the UK research and organizations, have also signed up and received, or are attempting to, I should say, are hoping to receive the Athena Swan certification. And the Athena Swan certification is about looking at gender equality in the workplace and ensuring that there are equal opportunities for all. So this is just to show that the environment to which you will be working in is really enriched and is really there to support you as an individual researcher, with a lot of dedicated support across all the different elements, which are really important to be successful with regards to your proposal, but also the implementation of your Marie Curie project. So what are the opportunities and how do I identify those within the UK? I don't have a full list at all of opportunities, and the reason being is that pretty much every research organization in the UK would be very open to actually hosting a Marie Curie Fellow. And most of the way that they will do this, either through identifying people themselves or actually being contacted. And it's important to note that UK research institutions really cover all research areas, from A to Z, so archaeology to zoology, and at all stages of the research pipeline. So from really fundamental, basic research all the way through to near market uptake. So really whatever you might want to do with your research and your career development, you can do that in the UK, and there will be someone, generally speaking, who you could match with and would want to work with. Some organizations do formal advertisements, so either on the organizational website or the personal research pages of individual researchers. They will often use social media, so Twitter and LinkedIn, to highlight opportunities where they are actively looking for a fellow to come and work with them. Or they'll use things, as we've already mentioned, the Your Access Jobs portal, but also there's a dedicated portal search tool. And once the call is open, that will be again open as well for the specific individual fellowship. So there are formal advertisement routes, but most of the time in the UK in particular, it is done through informal means. And so the thing for you is to think about what it is that you want to achieve with your research. What are you interested in terms of your research area? And actually, what else do you need in terms of your career development and training? Because a postdoctoral fellowship is really about research and training, and it's training through research. So it's really important to remember that those two elements are crucial. And they're crucial when you're thinking about identifying your supervisor. And that doesn't mean that you always have to go to the most well-known or the most senior person within that member of staff of the organization. You can go to more junior staff, particularly if you think they are the best person for you to work with what you are hoping to achieve. Often when we're a bit younger in our career, we don't really think we have a network, but actually we generally do. You have friends, you have colleagues that you can talk to. So when you're talking to them, ask them, let them know you're interested in becoming a Marie Curie Fellow. Do they have any ideas of who would make a good potential supervisor for you? And they might be able to help put you directly in contact with them, or you can contact them independently. I'd also recommend looking at the literature for your research area. Is there someone's work when you're reading, when you've been doing your literature reviews and just keeping up to date, that their work particularly resonates with you? You think, oh, I'd really love to go and work with them. Their work that they're doing is really interesting. It really aligns with what I'm interested in. I know that it's been a bit of a difficult year in terms of COVID, but there has been many conferences that have been online, or maybe before COVID, you met someone at a conference, you heard them speak, you saw some posters. I thought, actually, again, they're really interesting. I got along with them very well. I think they're doing some really interesting research, and I would really be keen to work with them and develop my research in line with theirs. It's also a very good way. And then another way of thinking about it, is there somewhere I've always wanted to go? Is it a geographical place that you've always wanted to spend some time, or maybe an institution that you've always wanted to go to? Look at those institutions within that area, look at the institution that you might be interested in going to, see what the work that they are doing. Is there anything there that you would also like to get involved in that, as I said, particularly resonates you, gets you really excited? Once you've done this, then what? So I've got some ideas of where I'd like to go. The first thing really is just to contact them. If you do have kind of colleagues or people in common, they can offer to introduce you, but it's really particularly in the UK, and I would feel that this would be across all the different countries and organizations, that actually researchers are very keen to be contacted, and they're very happy for younger researchers to contact them. If you do, make sure you are really clear on what you're asking them for. Explain why you want to work with them, why that institution, and I would also encourage you to include a little bit of a summary of your background by way of an introduction. My experience talking to researchers is that when they are contacted, the very first thing that they will do is they will do a Google search. So they will look for the person who's contacted them and see what other information they can find. So with that in mind, I would really encourage you all to make sure that your research pages and websites are really up to date. What have you been doing? Making sure that your CV is up to date, and include all those activities that would demonstrate that you are the right candidate for a postdoctoral fellowship. Look at, obviously, currently the call documentation is unfortunately not available, hopefully very, very soon. But you can even look at past documents or past templates, past evaluation criteria to give you an indication of those types of activities they might be looking for. And don't forget, it's not just about what you have done, but what you want to do in the future. Think about what your research are and make those very clear, because when the potential supervisor looks at your profile, they want to think about how you would fit with them. And the only way you can really do that is to understand what it is that you want to work on next. And just a little bit about social media, just to remember, there's a bit of personal versus professional, and that, as I said, they will be Googling you. So if there's anything out there in your social media that maybe you don't want to see, any potential employers to see, just have a think about that. So what support is available? So you've identified a potential host, you've contacted them, they're really keen to work with you. As I said, most UK research organizations have dedicated support teams. And your potential supervisor will be able to help you get in contact with them. As MSCA Curie NCPs, we're very happy to answer any questions that you might have on basic eligibility, where to find templates, kind of anything and everything for proposal development or during implementation as well, either via email or virtual meetings. We also do dedicated information and training events for applicants, and all our resources that we do through the national contact points are made freely available on our website. And we did recently have some training for the 2021 Postdoctoral Fellowships Call, which I would be keen, I would recommend that you have a look at. There's slides and recordings, and there's some case studies of current fellows kind of explaining how their process of applying and how it's worked for them and the benefits of their fellowship. As I mentioned, I work for the UK Research Office. In addition to being part of UK Research Innovation Funding Agency, we are actually a subscriber-based organization, and we have over 140 different UK and EU-based subscribing organizations. So again, this is also a good starting point in terms of identifying organizations. But to those organizations, we offer tailored support and are able to answer any EU funding related questions. So this is just another element of support that you would get through the university or research organization to which you would be applying. We also had dedicated fact sheets, for example, on immigration and the UK relationship with the EU. If you are looking to work kind of with SMEs or with business sector. We also have a network of subject-specific national contact points and more dedicated support to industry, which you can either contact directly or you can contact us as a MSCA Curie NCPs, and we can help direct you accordingly. So we have a lot of support that we provide not only to the applicants, but to the organizations as well, to ensure that everyone is as successful as possible. And that's my presentation today. I hope that it was all very clear. I'm very happy to answer any questions now. I know that we will get the Q&A after, but if, in a couple of days from now as well, or a weeks or months, you have further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us on the help desk, and our address is right there.
Thank you so much. There's a wealth of information there. And yeah, I gotta say, like, it's, the UK is really a great place to be, even if it rains a lot, but, you have a lot of things to do, and the research is, of course, very rich. And, you can also have partner with like different institutions that are not necessarily like connected maybe to your course, but it, opens your mind to other things that you can do. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Branwen. I just have one question for you before we go to the other presentations. There is a specific question where says, this is from Nurul. Can a potential applicant who's not European and not based in Europe apply to an institution in the UK?
Absolutely. We are fully open for business, as it were. MSCA Curie have no restrictions on nationality or where you have to be before you submit your application. So it's open to researchers currently based in Europe, but equally all over the world. So we'd be very happy to host fellows from anywhere. And as I said, we have a lot of, you might be aware that there's been some immigration changes, but actually it's much easier now for researchers to come to the UK, particularly through the Mary Skłodowska Curie actions. And again, we can help you understand what those processes are and direct you to the right immigration authorities to get the correct advice as well.